بسم الله الرحمن.
In the name of God, most compassionate, most merciful, Your Excellencies, may the peace of God be upon you. It gives me pleasure to begin by thanking His Excellency, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of France, and His Excellency, the Secretary General and the President of the General Assembly, and the chairs of the working groups for their efforts to prepare for this important conference, which is an opportune moment to move forward with the peace process. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference is held while escalation continues and the expansion of the conflict continues without any regard for the regional implications and global implications, and with a manner that entrenches impunity. At the same time, thousands of civilians are suffering the worst kinds of serious violations of starvation and bombardment and displacement, and hindering all international efforts to deliver humanitarian assistance to our people in Gaza. Meanwhile, the Israeli violations also take place in Jerusalem and the West Bank, where settlement policies continue and systemic exercises that want to change the demographic and religious nature of the region. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia reiterates that peace and security do not take place through a deprivation of rights or through the force. These policies lead to destabilization and eroding the possibilities for peace and expanding extremism, threatening regional and international peace and security. Your Excellencies, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia reiterates and welcomes what President Mahmoud Abbas has said about the commitment to peace and the continued efforts of the Palestinian government under the leadership of the Prime Minister, Mohammed Mustafa. These efforts deserve our appreciation. In this regard, we reiterate that the international community must support the Palestinian people in building their capacities and empowering their institutions through support for the Palestinian Authority and its reform. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia believes that peace cannot be built without empowering the Palestinian people economically and through development. Accordingly, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is promoting and expanding its cooperation with the Palestinian Authority to build capacity and to achieve digital transformation and to cooperate with the private sector so the economy can advance. In this regard, we mention the critical role of international organizations and the World Bank, including the IMF, in supporting the Palestinian people, whether through financing development or through technical assistance. In light of the increasing challenges, there is an urgent need to continue this support and further intensify it in order to enable the Palestinian people to overcome the challenges to achieve development and stability. And we welcome the grant from the World Bank for the Palestinians. Ladies and gentlemen, since the adoption of the Arab peace process in 2002, the Kingdom has continued its efforts for realization of an independent Palestinian state on the borders of 1967 with Jerusalem, East Jerusalem as its capital. This is the pillar for achieving a fair and comprehensive and lasting peace in the region. In this context, we commend France's intention to recognize the Palestinian state. This is a measure that reflects its support for the self-determination of the Palestinian people in accordance with international law and international resolutions. We welcome the recognition of a number of friendly states of the Palestinian state. And we call on other states to take this important and responsible measure and to engage in a credible process that is irrevocable to achieve peace and security for all people in the region. We realize we must maintain the political process, and therefore the Kingdom has launched this conference and has cooperated with the European Union and Norway, and we are working to operationalize a mechanism that is time-bound to follow up on the outcomes of this conference and to support practical measures to end the occupation and to establish the independent state of Palestine and achieve regional security. In conclusion, we call on you to join the final outcome document and to participate in its implementation. Our collective responsibility requires us today to work urgently to end the humanitarian disaster that is threatening the credibility of the international law and to enable the Palestinian people to achieve self-determination in order to achieve peace and security for all people in the region, opening the way towards stability, prosperity, and development. And may the peace of God be upon you.